Our story starts in Annwn. Annwn is the Welsh Otherworld, a mystical realm that exists beyond the mortal plane. The understanding of Annwn varies depending on the source, but it is generally considered a place of beauty, abundance, and as an afterlife for souls. The Middle Welsh term used during the Middle Ages translates more to deep or underground, which may reflect the Christian influence of hell. Unlike hell, it is not a place of punishment, but rather a continuation of existence in a different form. Annwn is often portrayed as an idyllic paradise, a land of eternal youth and plenty. It is a place where there is no sickness, aging, or death, and it is filled with lush landscapes, bountiful harvests, and unending feasts. In this sense, Annwn represents an idealized version of the natural world, untouched by the hardships of mortal life. Hi, I'm Amy. I don't speak Welsh. I barely speak English and spent years in speech therapy when I was young. So, my apologies to any Welsh listeners for mutating your words. Regardless, I so enjoy hearing the Welsh language being spoken. My goal is to share knowledge and grow community. You can check out my books in the description. Annwn is ruled by Arawn, the god of the underworld, and is inhabited by other powerful beings, spirits, and magical creatures. It is a place where the boundaries between the mortal and the divine blur, allowing for encounters with supernatural forces. Some versions of the legend mention that Arawn had a queen, although we don't know much about her. Arawn is known for his fairness, wisdom, and honor, and he plays a prominent role in the Welsh tales collected in the stories of Mabinogeon. These classic Welsh stories were written during the Middle Ages between 1350 and 1410. They contain pre Christian Celtic mythology woven in with Christian stories and popular legends of the time, including Robin Hood. I will put a link in the description for the translation of the Gutenberg Project, which is known for striving towards accuracy. As a magician, Arawn possesses profound knowledge of the magical arts, particularly those associated with the underworld and the forces of nature. His magical abilities allow him to control and manipulate the elements. Arawn's ability to shapeshift is one of his most intriguing aspects. Shapeshifting is a common motif in Celtic mythology, symbolizing a deep connection to the natural world and the fluid boundaries between human, animal, mortal, and divine. Arawn's roles as a magician and shapeshifter symbolize his deep connection to the mysteries of the universe and the hidden knowledge of the otherworld. He is a guardian of the unknown, a figure who could move seamlessly between different states of being. For modern practitioners who revere him, these aspects of his character might be invoked in rituals or meditations that focus on transformation, the balance of opposites, or the exploration of hidden knowledge. Arawn's magic and shape-shifting abilities make him a guide for those seeking to understand the deeper mysteries of existence. An expression from medieval Cardigan, Wales, says, "Long is the day, and long is the night, and long is the waiting of Arawn." Time passed differently than in the mortal world. Many scholars associate Arawn with the Gaulish god Cernunnos, who is referred to as Lord of the Animals or the Lord of the Wild Things, and I have a video on him as well. Here are Arawn's correspondences. You can take a screenshot of this page, and also I will be putting a blog post on the website about him. You can use the correspondences to make an altar for him. This is actually my altar to Epona, Celtic goddess of horses, but you get the point. In Celtic and Welsh mythology, horses are often seen as noble and powerful creatures, symbolizing strength, freedom, and the ability to travel between worlds. Arawn is the ruler of Annwn, and sometimes depicted as riding a majestic horse. Horses are a connection to the otherworldly realm and a symbol of travel. Other aspects of Arawn that were interesting to me was that he was also sometimes referred to as a magician and, quote, the guardian of the magical animals within his kingdom, among those, the unicorn. Arawn is most famously connected with a pack of supernatural hounds known as the Sin Annwn. These spectral dogs are described as white with red ears and are believed to be fierce hunters. In Welsh folklore, they are often associated with the Wild Hunt, a ghostly procession that roams the skies, particularly during the winter months. The Sin Annwn are seen as harbingers of death or omens of the otherworld, reflecting Arawn's role as the ruler of Annwn and his dominion over life and death. It is probable that this is an image influenced by Christianity to correspond with their vision of hell. He is often compared to Hades, Pluto, and the Christian Satan, but we must try to look deeper at what the ancients saw. The association with dogs is a symbol of loyalty, protection, and guidance. These are traits we can strive for. Is Arawn speaking to you? Perhaps you need his protection and guidance. Give him respect and loyalty, and he will speak to you. I know I say this over and over, but get out in nature. Walk, breathe, meditate, go outside, connect with the gods and the fae. Be open and listen. The antlered stag is a symbol that could have been associated with Arawn. It can represent his connection to nature and role as a protector, his shape-shifting abilities, and adaptability, or the soul's hunt and journey. Arawn is the pinnacle of trust and loyalty, qualities that a leader require. He is concerned with justice and keeping our world safe. Honor him by doing something for another person. Speak up about a social justice issue. Know that your word is a bond. His diplomacy and earnest friendship with mortals allows us to transcend the veil and seek his guidance and wisdom. So, how do we learn and know about Arawn? Ancient Welsh people had no written language, so sometimes it's hard to know how the ancestors were practicing and worshiping. Their stories were influenced by their Roman and Christian conquerors, so we have glimpses into their world, but not the whole picture. Archaeologists helps to give us some clues on how they lived. I think we are all familiar with Stonehenge, which is in England. However, you may not know several of the stones came from Wales, especially Pembrokeshire. In fact, Wales has many stone monuments, such as this one called Carreg Samson. Carreg Samson is a 5,000-year-old Neolithic stone structure. The most striking feature of Carreg Samson is its massive capstone, which measures approximately 15 by 9 feet and is about 3.5 feet thick. Perched atop cliffs near Abercastle, with views of Ireland, it is the remains of the entrance of a tomb. During an excavation several years ago, some of Carreg Samson's secrets were revealed. Beneath the floor of yellow clay, archaeologists discovered a large bowl that held the cremated remains of several people. I found a nice video on this monument on the channel Coral Jacks, which is about stone monuments in Great Britain. I will link it below. It should be noted that Wales fought off the Romans for many years after England was conquered. In 78 AD, they finally fell. Christianity became the official religion of the Roman Empire in 311 AD after the conversion of Emperor Constantine. By the time the Roman legions withdrew in the 5th century, Christianity was likely the dominant religion in Wales. During the 6th and 7th centuries, Roman and Celtic missionaries continued to convert the country, and Wales became a stronghold of the Celtic Church. I do find it interesting that even after becoming Christian, the Welsh put their own spin on the church. Much of what we know of the Welsh pantheon comes from a set of books called the Mabinogion. These early Welsh stories were written between 1050 and 1310 CE during the medieval period. Originally, recorders and writers of this oral history were most likely monks or noble persons. We need to note that they were Christians. One interesting tidbit is that one of the modern publications was made by a woman. Lady Charlotte Elizabeth Guest published a bilingual edition in 1838. She was a pioneering force of education during this time. All this is to say because Arawn is described in two stories in the Mabinogion. One story centers on Pif, Prince of Dyfed. So Pif goes out hunting one day and encounters a pack of supernatural hounds belonging to Arawn, who had cornered a stag. Pif drives away Arawn's hounds and allows his own dogs to take down the stag they were hunting. This act offends Arawn, but instead of punishing Pif directly, Arawn confronts him in a disguised form and proposes a challenge. Arawn suggests that he and Pif exchange appearances and kingdoms for a year and one day. During this time, Pif must defeat Arawn's enemy Halfgen, who seeks to usurp his throne in Annwn. He instructs Pif to strike Halfgen only once, as a second blow would undo the victory. Pif agrees and the two exchange appearances. Pif rules Annwn and Arawn's place, successfully defeating Halfgen as instructed. Meanwhile, Arawn in Pif's form rules Dyfed with wisdom and restraint. Neither ruler takes advantage of the other's position, and after the agreed time, they switch back to their original forms. The story highlights themes of honor, loyalty, and the testing of character. It also introduces Arawn as a powerful and wise ruler of the Otherworld, who values fairness and upholds his word. The tale underscores the fluid boundaries between the mortal world and the otherworld, a recurring theme in Celtic mythology. Thanks to Maya for suggesting this video, and thanks to all for watching, and have a very witchy day.